Long time ago, when you got a name, um, a lot of what do you call it? Thought went into that. Yeah. Um, there's several ways that you got a name. Um, when you were born, uh, a lot of times there's just you got a children's name. I'm talking in Lakota. Don't say Indian name because every tribe has a different uh, protocol for this. They have different um, teachings and stuff like that. And for Lakota, when you're a child, you get a name. It'd be just a simple name, yeah. And that crazy horse, when he was born, he got the name Waglula, yeah. That means worm. That was his name. And but see, the thing is, people, when you have a name, nobody uses it, yeah. Nobody says Waglula, come home. It's time to eat. Nobody says that. Nobody. When you got your name, it was just people. You have in the Western world, we are called by our names because of the way the world is. Yeah, because of the way um, you have a job, you go to school, um, you're in a family. Whatever setting in the Western world, a name is required. Yeah, and a title. Yeah, Mr. Jones, Mr. Jones, Mrs. Thompson. Mr. Little Elk. Yeah, would you please come over next? In the Tiospaye, it's not that way. A Tiospaye is set up different, where names are not necessary. I mean, in dealing with daily communications, names are not necessary. They didn't use names. They they addressed each other by kinship terms, yeah, by how they're related. So people will say, "Hey, cousin, let's go over here," or "Brother, let's do this." "A sister, could you give me that?" Or "A father, let's do this." "Uncle, let's do that." "Auntie, look at this. Could you help me with this?" "Grandpa, let's go over here." "Grandma, I made this for you." You always use kinship terms. You don't use names. That's Natyoshbaya. See, when you got a name, it wasn't, really mega important kind of thing because you're never called by your name. Only in ceremony. Yeah, only in ceremony. In a Tiospaye setting in ancient times, you were known by how you're related to everybody. Yeah, and so people, if you're not, like, say, if you're not related, excuse me, then you use cousin terms or auntie and uncle terms or niece and nephew terms according to the generation of the person you're talking to. For example, if I am talking to an old man that is the same age as my grandfather, but I am not related to him, I still call him grandfather. Same thing with old woman. Yeah, I call her grandma, even if I'm not related to them. Yeah, I call them grandma and grandpa. And if I'm talking to somebody who is the same age or the same generation as my parents, um, I would call that man uncle, and if it's a woman, I would call her auntie. Huh? If it's the same generation as me, then for a man, I would call him cousin. Same thing for the girl. If she's the same generation as me, I would call her girl. Call her girl. I'd call her cousin. Now, I just realized I probably could be confusing you here. Let me start all over, okay? And let me say it a little bit more clear. All right. All old people who are from your grandparents' generation, you call them grandma and grandpa. All of them. Even if it's people you don't know, you still call them grandma and grandpa. Okay, now, if the if it's a man that you do not know and you're not related to that person, and that man is from your parents' generation, you call that man uncle. Okay? Now, if it's a woman and you don't know her, but she's from your parents' generation, you're not related to her. Maybe you know her, but you're not related to her. Same thing with the man. Maybe you do know him, but you're not related to them. You call the woman auntie, and you call the man uncle, as I said earlier. Yeah. So one more time, if it's a man or a woman that you do not know, you call them auntie or uncle. Or even if you do know them, but you're not related to them, again, you still call that person either auntie or uncle, depending on if it's a man or a woman. Okay? Now, from your generation, if it's somebody you don't know, if it's a man, you say cousin. If it's a woman, you say cousin. There's two different words for that. Yeah, actually, there's four. I'll explain that in just a few minutes. Again, if it is somebody you do know, but you're not related to them, you still call them cousins. Okay? So it can, like I said, it can work one of two ways. Either you know them and you're not related to them, or you don't know them. You call them cousins if they're from the same generation as you. Okay? All right. Now, if the person you're talking to, if you don't know that person, or if you do know them but you're not related to them, then you call that person nephew if it's from your children's generation. Okay? If it's a man. If it's a guy, you call him nephew. If it's a girl, you call her niece in the Lakota way. Okay? And all grandchildren are called takoja. You see that special relationship between grandparents and grandchildren? All grandparents are called grandma and grandpa, regardless if you know them or not, regardless if you're related to them or not. Same thing with grandchildren. Regardless if you're related to them or you know them, all grandchildren are called takoja. You see that? That's cool, I think. So, and then you have to, there's different words for, like say the words for cousin, yeah? Since I'm a man, I have two words, yeah? One's going to be female cousin, which is hankashi. So any woman that I don't know, or any woman that I know and I'm not related to her, I will call her cousin. Okay? And any man that I don't know, or I know him but I know I'm not related to him, then I call that guy tahanshi. Okay? Now for women, see, I would call a woman hankashi, somebody I don't know. Or I know her and I'm not related. Yeah? I call her hankashi. She will call me shicheshi. That's a woman's word for a guy. Either she knows him but is not related, or she doesn't know him. She would call me hankashi. Yeah? That's a woman's word for a male cousin. But remember, a man's word for male cousin is tahanshi. It's a different one. Yeah. So when a woman is addressing another woman, her generation, either she doesn't know the woman or she knows the woman but is not related, she's going to call that lady Jephanshi or Stephanshi. Either one is okay. It's 2 words for that. So you see, there's 4 terms. And we have to know all 4. Otherwise, we don't know who we're talking to. Or we don't know when somebody is calling us, a name, we don't know if they're talking to us or not. Do you see what I mean? See, my words are, for male cousin, Tahanshi. For female, it's Hankashi. Yeah? And somebody asked me, so does that mean you just have to know those 2 words? I said, no, I have to know the others too. Because if a woman is not really, let's say a woman knows me, but she's not related to me, she's going to call me Shicheshi. Yeah? So if she says, Shicheshi, can you help me? I fell down. I'll be looking around, just walking away because I don't know the word. And I don't see her or anything. And I don't even know what she said. You see what I mean? I have to know what Shicheshi means so I can go help her. Do you see what I mean? So even though you only use 2 words, you have to know all 4. So that way you're being addressed. That's how that works. Yeah. So in those ancient times, like I said, this like a woman might say to me, let's say a woman doesn't know me. No, let's say this woman knows me, but we're not related. Okay, so like I said, she's gonna call me Shicheshi. So she might come to my where I'm sitting, and she might say, Shicheshi, I heard you're a really good cook. Can you make me some fried potatoes and eggs? Hey, and bologna. The reservation breakfast delight special. That happens all the time when I was on the res, yeah? Women just wanted me to cook for them. Nothing more. That's why I came to Berlin. Had better luck over here. Shoot. Heck. Anyway, so that now do you understand that what was used in everyday conversations is kinship terms. Nobody ever called each other by names. Yeah. When Sitting Bull when Chief Sitting Bull met with Chief Crazy Horse, they didn't say, "Hi, Chief Crazy Horse. Hi, Chief Sitting Bull. How are you doing today?" They didn't say that. Sitting Bull is from the generation of Crazy Horse's parents. Yeah? So Crazy Horse addressed Sitting Bull as Lekshi, uncle. Yeah? Lekshi. He didn't even say, see, the word for Sitting Bull is Tatanka Iotake. Tatanka is a buffalo bull. Iotake means sitting. Yeah? And so he didn't say, "Hi, Lekshi, Tatanka Iotake." He didn't say that. He just said, "Hi, Lekshi. Daya hielo. It's good that you're here. Lila daya wa chiankelo. It's really happy to see you." That's what they say. Didn't even say Sitting Bull at all. You see what I mean? So your name, usually it's used when you're born and when you die. That's when you're addressed. That's when when you're brought into this world. They say your name 4 times, and after you get your name, yeah, they say it 4 times, and the community rejoices. Yeah, wana. Yeah, they might say something like wana. Tashumka Witko. No, that's not his name. His name was Waglula when he was a kid, yeah. When Crazy Horse was a kid, his name was Worm. So they might say, Wana, Waglula, Hokshila, he, yeah, Hielo, depending on who says it. Yeah. If a woman is saying it, she's going to say kshto at the end. That's a gender ending. A man will say yellow. A woman will say kshto. They just end the sentences differently. Everything else is the same. Yeah, there is no such thing as a female dialect of our language. Somebody once asked me that, and I said, nope, there isn't. It's just the gender endings and some of the kinship terms. That's it. And everything else is the same. I know this because this is what my mother taught me. Yeah. So anyway, that's how I got that. I mean, that's how that works. How I got that. That's how that works. And then when you die, and they sing your honor song. Yeah. They say during that song, they say your name 4 times. That now you're on your journey. Yeah. Now your journey continues to the other realm. Your name is announced 4 times. When you get to that other realm, yeah, the people that are there are going to announce your arrival. They're going to say your name 4 times again. Do you see how that works? It's another reason why the number 4 is sacred. So this is about the only times you use your names, yeah. Or you might use it. They might use your name when they're honoring you, like in a ceremony, yeah. And when they tell what the things that you did and stuff like that, and then you give to the people, yeah. That's some things that will happen. So this is how that works, yeah. That's how the whole name concept is working. So anyway, in traditional times, like I said, you got a name when you were born, and it could be anything. Yeah, like I said with Crazy Horse, it was Waglula, worm, and that's how that might be. Yeah, your name might be Wagamiza. Oh, no, how's that word? What was that word? Not Wagamiza. Wagamu. Yeah. There was a little girl on the reservation where I came from, and her grandpa called her Wagamu. Yeah. It even sounds funny. Yeah. It's a squash. So she must have looked like a squash, or she must have really liked to eat squash. Yeah, because he called her Wagamu. That's cute. Yeah. So anyway, Wagamu. I like that. Anyway, so now when the young people go through their rites of passage, see, by this time they're going to be around, 13 years old, somewhere around there, 12, 13 years old. They're going to go through their rites of passage. Now they're going to become young adults. And up to that time, see, they've been in the community for 12, 13 years. And the community knows what kind of children they are. They know their talents. They know their personality. They know what they're good at and stuff like that. So now, when they're going to when they're going to get ready to go through puberty, I mean their rite of passage into adulthood, several things are possible here. One is that an older person, an elder, he might notice that a certain child has this same talent as him. Yeah, that he's good in his whatever it is that he does. It's the same way as this old guy. Yeah. So the old guy will meet with the child's family, and he will say, "I'd like to give him my name, if that's okay." So then they discuss it, yeah, in the Tiospaye, and they come to agreement, and they say, "Yeah, we'll do that." So when the guy goes through his rite of passage, which for a guy is Humbletia, it's crying for a vision, yeah, and where he goes on a hill and cries for a vision for 4 days and 4 nights, and if he gets a vision, he might receive information concerning the rest of his life, yeah. But he may not get a vision at the same time. He might get inspiration, which is just as powerful, yeah. So It's not. The focus is on going through the process. Yeah, that you're transforming. Yeah, again, change. Yeah, you're going through change. Your body and your mind. Yeah, and you're emotionally developing and you're spiritually developing because of that. So they are going through a change here, and so after that ceremony is over, they announce to the people that this old man and this young adult, they're going to switch names. This is what happened with Crazy Horse and his father. Yeah, they switched names. When he went through his rite of passage, he he took his father's name, and I mean his father gave him his name, and then the father took Crazy Horse's name. So the father was then known as Waglula. Yeah, and the young adult was now known as Tashunkawitko. His horse is crazy. That's what it really means. Yeah, Tashunkawitko is his horse is crazy. It's because of a vision. Yeah, Crazy Horse received the same vision that his father received. So this meant to pass the name on. Do you see what I mean? So sometimes that's how that happens. The another way, now this is for boys, okay? I'll explain the girls in a little bit. For the boys, I mean, another way the boys might get their name is that they may receive a vision. And during their rite of passage, that Hamblecha, they may receive their vision. And in that vision, it will show them something. And when a boy gets his vision, he has to, excuse me, he has to tell. See, there's a holy person that is guiding him. The boy is on the hill. The holy person is at the bottom of the hill. He's sitting inside of a sweat lodge, and he's tapping into the boy's mind. So he's watching. He's just going to watch. The reason why is because the mind has four parts. Yeah, the first part is the part that's deep within you. Yeah, this is literally establishing a scent. This is your what do you call this? Your this is a narila. Yeah, this is your. There's another word for that, but I don't want to say it because it's kind of a sacred term. Yeah. So I'm just going to say this is where a part of creation is inside of you. I'll just say it like that. That's the first part, okay? Then there's two other parts. One of these parts contains all the memories that you ever had since your soul was created up until before you're born. Okay? That's where that one is. That's the second part. A third part contains all the memories from when you were born until right now. And the fourth part is right now. The conscious. Okay? So when you receive inspiration, you're going to that first part. Okay? I mean, it's coming from there. Sometimes when you're dreaming, that's in the two middle parts. You might receive information from there. Okay? And also, these two middle parts, they're always awake. Even when you're asleep, these two parts are always awake. And these two parts may actually come into contact with somebody else's two parts. And you don't even know what's happening. Yeah? So then they might get to know each other really good. Maybe you have a really good friend in dreamland. You don't even know that friend really does exist. Yeah? Maybe they don't know either. Then suddenly, excuse me, you take a trip someplace and you come around the street corner and you bump into somebody and knock down, both of you, fall on the ground and you look at each other and like, I know you. But you'd never met before. But you know each other. That's because of these two middle areas. They already met. Yeah? And now your fourth area is meeting. Yeah, the conscious part is meeting for the first time. But in the two middle parts, they already have a friendship. Yeah, that happens. And also, two people can tap in there while they're sleeping and have the same dream. It's called dream sharing. You see how that works? It's really interesting. Dream traveling is based on that same concept too. Yeah. So when the child is doing a hamblecha, excuse me, a boy and a man later, what he's doing is he's going from that fourth level to the first level to receive inspiration, to receive knowledge, spiritual knowledge, or medicinal knowledge, or whatever that's going to help him for the rest of his life. Now, I said boys and men. Why not girls? Well, see, males have 4 stages of development. Females have 7. Yeah? One of the other things that women have that men don't is this ability to do this ceremony inside themselves. In other words, intuition. Yeah, a lot of women have this ability to naturally do that. Part of raising girls is teaching them how to do that. Yeah, this is why women's societies raise the girls, because they know how to do this, and they taught their young girls. As they got older, they taught them about this part, and they taught them as they get older, they teach them how to do it. They don't have to do this ceremony. They're not supposed to do this ceremony because it's already inside of them. That's why. See, we don't have that, so we have to do the ceremony. Do you see what I mean? So when you hear about a woman doing a hamblecha, there must be something wrong with her. There must be what do you call it? She must be off, or she's crazy, or she has a really bad teacher, or she's a feminist, which is all of the above. I'm just kidding. Now that's inspiration there. Oh, shoot. Because feminists are always saying, if a man can do it, a woman can do it too. The only time that argument is true is if you can reverse it. Yeah? And you can't. We cannot have babies. I'm not saying that to be sexist. That is a fact. Yeah? So, women have a cycle, men have a cycle. They're different cycles, but they complement each other. You heard me say that earlier. Yeah? They complement each other. They can go really good together should they want to. Yeah? So, excuse me. So for this reason, women don't have to do that ceremony. Yeah? This is something that guys have to do. And throughout a man's life, he may do it again later, for other reasons, for other intentions, for other purposes. Like, say, maybe a guy's facing a decision. Should I do this or should I do that? What should I do? So a woman can just go within herself and get the answer, but a man, for a really, really serious thing, he has to go on a mountain. Now he has to go on a hill and cry for vision and see if he gets the answer that way. Do you see what I mean? That's why the guys will do this throughout their lives. So they have to go up there 4 days and 4 nights. And like I said, it's dangerous when you do this because these middle 2 areas that I told you about where the dreams are, yeah, they also lead to other spiritual realms where sometimes there's unhealthy energies out there too. See, all throughout the universe there's healthiness and unhealthiness, okay? So something unhealthy could come through there, and once it comes through, it looks at your mind, it accesses all your memories, and then it might imitate somebody you knew and trick you and it could make you go crazy. So a holy person has to be there. That's why he's inside the sweat lodge. He's tapping into the person's two middle areas and watching. So he sees whatever the guy doing the ceremony is seeing. So if something comes through, the holy person, the spirit, the beings that are helping the holy person, these Tongashilapi, they're gonna push it away. Yeah, they're gonna protect that man or young boy doing their vision, crying for vision ceremony. Yeah, so that's why that person has to be there. That these Tongashilapi work through the holy person. The holy person has no power. Remember, I did a discussion on that several days ago. The holy people have no power. What makes them holy people is they have a certain something inside of their bodies. And this is not about being good or bad. Being a good person doesn't give you this thing. Okay? It's just there or it's not. And it's not necessary for us to live a healthy life. We don't need it. It's not necessary, but some people have it. And the only people who see it are these holy people. And like I said, it has nothing to do with being good. Yeah, it has nothing to do with being special. In other words, you can't say, okay, I'm going to do nothing but good things so I can get this peace. That's not going to work. You either have it or you don't. There's no other way to get it. You're either born with it or you're not. But you don't just get it from somebody. So what this means is a holy person cannot teach others with seminars and books on how to become a holy person. Either you got it or you don't. Yeah? And when you have it, it doesn't make you any more special than normal people. You're still human. You still will make mistakes. And hopefully you will still learn from them. You are not perfect when you're a holy person. Yeah? And the holy person, see, this thing that they have inside the body, this is what allows these Tongashilapi, these spiritual beings, to come in and put the power there so the power can heal others or help others. So the holy people have no power. Yeah? The power is coming from the Tongashilapi. These are not medicine men. Medicine men work with plants and herbs and songs in preparation and administration of the medicine to the sick individual. This is their knowledge. And they can recognize when a kid is this way. So medicine men, like I said, they're like herbalists. They can teach others to be that way if they have the talent. They have to have the talent. Yeah? But holy people cannot choose who other holy people can be because they can't see this thing that's inside of us. Only the Tongashilapi can see it. So that's why only they can choose who's going to be the next holy person. All right? So a holy person has to be there at the foot of the hill to watch over this person doing this hamblecha ceremony, this crying for vision ceremony. That way they can, if something unhealthy tries to come, these Tongashilapi, through the holy person, block it so that guy's ceremony will continue will continue. Yeah? But sometimes these things are going to come from other areas. They're going to come walking. Yeah, and when people do these hamblecha ceremonies, they have to put kind of a boundary or a border around themselves. I'm not going to explain the whole ceremony here, but it's filled with prayer cloths, prayer tobacco pouches, chanshasha, not Marlboros or Winstons. I mean real chanshasha. This is red willow bark. Yeah, this is not nicotine stuff here. They have to have these in the 4-direction color bags in the right directions. And there's a boundary, so nothing unhealthy can go in there. It's like a energy force. Yeah. However, something could come up to the boundary and try to scare you out. Because once you leave the boundary before the 4 days is over, you ended the ceremony. So you can't leave until that's over. So some things are going to try and come and scare you out of there. Yeah, they're going to try to scare you out and make you, to thwart your ceremony. So you're going to see some really really scary things. Yeah, and so the holy person, he's not going to be able to deal with those because that's your thing. Yeah, and so you have to be strong. Yeah. Like suddenly a naked woman's gonna appear in front of you, yeah, and she's gonna sit down right outside that area, and and she's going to spread her legs, and she's gonna be naked, and she's gonna be motioning you to come, and and join her, and but she's trying to get you to leave. And then you just sit there and you close your eyes and you start praying, and then all of a sudden you're going to hear growling. You open your eyes and there's going to be a mountain lion standing there. Yeah, and now it's going to scare you by pretending to jump at you, but you still stay there. Yeah. You can feel its breath right in front of your face as it's breathing and growling and stuff like that, but you continue and you continue and continue. Stand strong. Yeah? Then it leaves. See, those are the kind of things you'll see. I heard a real funny story one time of a Catholic priest that wanted to do this, yeah? Over in the Sioux reservation, there was this Catholic priest that he was really he wasn't about, oh, you Indians are all evil and children of the devil, you must join the church. He wasn't like that. He was really interested in Lakota ceremonies. Yeah, he was really he found them just fascinating. I don't know what he was doing being a Catholic priest. Yeah. So he wanted to do one, yeah? He was really into it, so he got prepared. You have to do a year preparation for this, yeah? So he did his year of preparation, and they let him use a pipe to pray with when he's inside, yeah? So he was up there on the hill, had this prayer, not prayer, the tobacco ties all around him in the 4 directions, and he was sitting there with just in a buffalo robe and a pipe, yeah? That's all. And the third night came, and what happened? The third night came, and and here a bear started running towards the what do you call it? And he stood up and he started saying, "Hey!" And this bear was really running fast towards him, so he got his pipe and he aimed it like a gun. then as soon as this bear jumped, yeah, it jumped at this priest, and then it turned into a bird, and it started flying away, and he started to fire. He had that pipe. He was pointing, using the stem like there was some kind of trigger there, and he was making these sounds. Oh shit. Oh my. I never found out if he received the vision or not, and then most likely he didn't, yeah. So then, see, after you do the ceremony, if you get a vision, yeah, if you get a vision, you have to, when you talk to the holy man, You have to tell him exactly what you saw and what you heard. You cannot leave anything out. You cannot add anything. This is a rule. It's really strict. The reason why is because there's medicine. Yeah. When you are telling the vision, you're releasing a medicine. If something sacred just went inside of you when you received your vision. So when you tell it, that energy, that medicine is coming out. And this is really, really, really important. So if you don't say something, yeah, if you forget to tell something, then not all the medicine comes out, and the medicine is not for you. Okay, so if there's something inside of you that's not for you, that means it's going to make you sick, and if you don't release it, you could die. That's why it's really, really important. And if you add something to it, then you kill, or I should say, you, this energy loses its medicine, and that's an unhealthy communication called deception, and that's going to come back to you 4 times as strong, and it's going to do you in. See that law of generosity there, Wawukia? That's how that works. So it's vital, it's extremely important that you don't leave anything out and don't add anything to it. That way, when this medicine comes out, see, now in some cases you can use that to help others just by talking about something. Yeah? But if like I said, if you don't do that, then it loses, and you lose too, and you got to do it all over again, but next year. Yeah, and if you don't get a vision, you still have to. You can try again, but you have to wait at least a year. You can't just say, crap. Okay, we'll try again tomorrow. Yeah, you can't do that because it doesn't work that way. Nature, just doesn't say. Oh, Jesus, summer, it's going to be fall. Shit, I don't want to go through fall. Let's have another summer. Do you see what I mean? Nature doesn't do that. So you have to, it's the same way with you. You have to wait another year. Yeah, that's how that works. So through that vision, sometimes they will see an animal doing something. And next thing you know, that whatever it did, it helped you in the vision. And then you most likely this is going to be part of your name. So you got it through a vision. That's the other way to get a name. Yeah? So this is, and like I said, these names, they're only used in ceremony and for certain, special occasions. But you don't, every day, most of the days you don't really hear your name. Yeah? Most of the days you're going to hear yourself addressed as how you're related to that person. Yeah. So that's how that works. Now in the Tiospaye way, let me explain that real quick. I did yesterday, but I might have a new listener. I mean, 2 days ago I explained the Tiospaye, or was that yesterday? Anyway, that was yesterday. But I get new listeners all the time, so let me do a quick explanation of what a Tiospaye is. This is traditional, okay? This doesn't really exist anymore today, but it's good to know anyway. We got this from the buffalo, how they organized themselves when they first came on the earth. And see, we came, and then they came too, yeah? And it's a really long story, but it's beautiful. And we observed the buffalo and how they organized themselves, and it was really nice, so we copied that. Now, this is the way it works. I'll use myself as an example. My mother and her sisters are all my mothers. They're just as important as my mother, my birth mother. All the husbands of these women are my fathers. and they're just as important as my birth father. Okay? And all their children from here are going to be my brothers and sisters. So all these, are moms and dads and brothers and sisters. They're all equally important. Okay? Now, my mother, her brothers are going to be my uncles, and their wives are going to be my aunties, and their children are going to be my cousins. Okay? That's how that works. Now, remember I said my father is my father, and which means his brothers are going to be my other fathers. Yeah? And their wives are my other mothers, and their children are my other brothers and sisters. So all these mothers and fathers are important. They're all going to raise me. So if one of my birth parents passes on or whatever, I'm not an orphan. All these parents are there to love me, and they are loving me from the beginning. So from my earliest memory, I know I have lots of moms and dads. So when one dies, it is sad, but we all comfort one another. We are all there for one another. You see the community way of thinking here. My father's sisters are going to be my aunties, and their husbands are my other uncles, and their children are my other cousins. That's how that works. Yeah, this is Tiospaye. So do you see? Where everybody calls each other by kinship terms, because look at all the parenting that's happening here. Yeah? Okay. So if one mother says, calls a son, we all look. Who, me? Yeah, you. We all head over there. Shoot. That's Tiospaye, yeah? And it worked for millions of years. Yeah? So we all rejoiced with one another. We supported one another through difficult times. It's a very community way of thinking. And we looked out for one another, yeah? And it was a wonderful, wonderful family concept. The Tiospaye. Okay? Now, for girls, remember, when they receive their name, they have a special ceremony. It's called, it goes by two names. One is called Ishnat Ha'awicha Loampi, and the other one is called Tatranka Olowampi. These are just two different names, but the ceremony is the same. I'm not going to explain the whole ceremony because it's going to take too long, and it's sacred. Yeah, that's a sacred thing. But in that ceremony, it's really wonderful. Yeah, they put her in a teepee. I'll just go through the major points, okay? They go through a teepee. As soon as it's dusk, when you see the red in the sky, the sun has gone over the horizon, and it's red in the sky. At that point, they put a teepee up around this girl. Yeah, they sit her someplace, and then the women come and put this teepee up around her, and they sit there all night. And all night long, women are going to come in. All her relatives, all her mothers, all her aunties, all her grandmothers are going to come in one by one, and they're going to talk to her about being a woman, a mother, a wife, yeah, and later a grandmother. They're going to tell her all about these things. Yeah, and remember, in her training by the women, she's learned to use her intuition. Yeah, they're going to teach her about some animals and how to be like them. They're going to say, look at grandmother turtle. Whenever there's a storm, she just goes inside and nothing harms her. Be this way. Yeah, when people gossip about you, turn your back so it doesn't hit you. Because it wasn't the perfect world. Yeah? And make your home a really wonderful place. Yeah? Look at grandmother, they would mention another animal. Be like grandmother a metal arc, and when she comes, everybody, it just feels good. You live so that when you come around, people enjoy it when you're around. When they come to your home, because the home belongs to the woman, yeah. When they come to your home, they really enjoy your presence. Your people feel protected. They feel loved. They feel wanted. They feel appreciated inside your home, and they value you. They will honor you because your law, your word is the law. So they teach them things like this all night long. Lots of things like this. It's really beautiful. Then the ceremony begins, yeah, in the middle of the night. And I'm not going to say what it is, but it's really cool what they do. And the result is at the end of the ceremony, she becomes a sister to the buffalo. And they paint her face in a certain way. And the mother comes in to the teepee alone. And she gives her a new dress and fixes her hair in the woman's way. And then they take the dress out. She hands it out. The father standing outside the teepee door. He gets the old dress and he raises it up and he says, and now, what's her name is gone. And this is her dress. And anybody can have it. So he's gonna throw it out, like when women get married and they throw their bouquets out. Yeah. So other little girls all run for it because maybe this girl was really friendly. Maybe she was really nice. Yeah. And so they all want to be like her because remember, her tu is in this dress. Tu is part of your soul. It's the essence. Yeah. And when you give something to somebody that you made, or it's your clothes, it shows that you trust that person. It shows that that person will take care of you if you need it. Best friends do this to each other. Husbands and wives do this to each other. Yeah. So they did this, and then they would say, and now we present, and then she has her adult name. So lots of times, through intuition, the women will know what her adult name is going to be. Or, like with the young boys, an old woman might recognize a certain talent that this girl has that's just like hers. So she will talk to the family and ask if she can take her name and the girl can have hers. So they trade names. Sometimes that happens too. Yeah. So then the father, after he throws the old dress out, he now presents, and now I present to you my daughter, who is now a woman, and then he announces her new name, and they're gonna sing an honor song for her, and during that honor song, they're gonna shout her new name 4 times. Yeah, and during that time, the women are taking the teepee down. The girl is still sitting there. They take the teepee down, and then they put it back up again. Now she's an adult. This signifies that she's transformed. This is her teepee. Now this is her teepee. They do this to every girl who comes of age after she gets her first menstruation. Yeah, there's a lot of cool things I wish I could tell you about the ceremony, but it's sacred. Yeah, this is sacred. This show is for the public. Anybody can listen to this show. Yeah, what do you call those people in the NSA might be listening to this show. Yeah, I might be giving them ideas here. Let my people go. Where, they're going to say. I didn't think that far yet. Hold that thought, I'll get back to you. No, anyway, it's a really beautiful ceremony. Yeah, this Ishnat Ha'awit Shalawampi. And Like I said, part of this involves singing over her. Yeah, that's why they call it like. Anyway, it's a very beautiful ceremony, and this is where, like I said, this is where they get their names. And one thing I forgot to mention with the young boys when they get their new names, that they do the same thing. Yeah, they sing an honor song for them, and during that song, they shout the young man's new name 4 times. They're announcing him to the universe. This is now a man. Or for the girls, this is now a woman. Yeah, and it's a cause for great celebration because it shows that the people are going to continue to live so that we may live. It's always important. Yeah. So do you see that how the concerning names, they're just that's not an everyday thing. And a lot of thought goes into this. These are sacred things. I had a guy from Switzerland write me an email, and he said, "Yeah, I really like the Lakota way. I want to give myself an Indian name. A lot of people tell me I'm like an eagle. So can you translate for me the name for flying eagle? Oh, brave eagle," he said. So I should have wrote back Wichashach lete. I'm, I'm not gonna translate that. Translate half. Wichasha is man. Now listen to me really closely. Chlete. Sometimes the way a word sounds gives you an idea of what it could mean. And this is very true with this word. Okay? Heck. So I get that all the time. People say, "Yeah, everybody says I act like a wolf, so can you translate to me a wisdom wolf?" Or everybody says I'm a natural born leader, so can you translate for me wolf king or king of the wolves? So it's always something way in the hell up there. It's never humble. And this breaks Lakota virtue. Yeah? Wahwala. Humility. So I never answer these emails. I don't waste my time on that. I don't waste my time on explaining to them because remember, they're communicating clearly from a dualistic, linear way of thinking. Linear is like when you only go in one direction and the further you go, the better you get. So the further you think you're better than all those that are behind you. That's linear thinking. And Lakota way is not that way at all. And Lakota, yes, you do go forward, but sometimes it's good to go backwards. It's good to go back to something you already learned because you changed. You see things differently in time. Yeah? So it's good to go back to something you already learned and look at it again. Because I guarantee you 100% you're going to see something new. And it was always there. But you just didn't see it back then because you weren't that developed yet. But when you become more developed, you see more. That's why it's good to go back to things you already learned. And you are going to learn something new. This is nonlinear. It's circular. This is our way. That's our way of looking at life in a non-linear way. This is why there's no word for goodbye in our language, because we're always coming back around. Yeah, life is a circle, time is circular. We're always coming back around, so there's no word for goodbye in Lakota language. Yeah, we're non-linear, and that this concept of wahwala is really important to that. That's why we say until next time, which in Lakota is toksha ake. Thank you very much for taking time to tune into this show. I really appreciate it. And I enjoy doing it. And I wish you a wonderful Sunday, or I should say Sin Day, yeah, wherever you are. whenever you're listening to this, if it's Monday for you already, because in some places in this world it's already Monday. So whenever you listen to this, I hope you have a good rest of the time, rest of the day, wherever you are, rest of the night, morning, afternoon. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, sweet dreams. Have a good meal if you're getting ready to eat. Have a good walk if you're getting ready to walk. And be nice to yourself. Yeah, take care of yourself so you can be this way for other people. Because reality begins within. Yeah, when you do it to yourself first, you're able to do it for others. So forgive yourself. Yeah, forgive yourself and visualize yourself living a healthy life, and you'll be able to do that with others around you. Okay. So again, thank you very much for taking time to listen to this show. I really, really, really appreciate the time that you take to do that. And like I said, I really enjoy coming here. Yeah, I like saying that too. Yeah, because it's true. I do enjoy coming here, talking with you, sharing with you information, and I just ask that you think about it. I don't ask that you agree with me, and if you don't agree with me, that's okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna say you're wrong. I respect you. We all can choose to believe whatever we want to believe, as long as we don't force it down each other's throats. I'm just representing the ancestors, their perspective, and that their perspective worked. So we can adopt it too and make it our perspective, because it does. It is our inheritance. Yeah. So thank you. Have a good night. Have a good evening. I'll see you later tomorrow, same time, same place. Doksha Ake.